Capital One Platinum Card a scam? You've probably seen a video somewhere on social media, like here on YouTube, TikTok, on Facebook or Instagram, where people are stating that the Capital One Platinum Card is a complete scam and you need to stay away from it. Like this video right here.
Never build your credit using Capital One. The Capital One Platinum Secured MasterCard looks like it's one of the best ways to start building your credit. That credit card is literally a scam because it's marketed as a secured credit card, meaning you have to put down a down deposit of at least $200 to open the card in the first place. That deposit ends up becoming your credit limit. The problem is they don't give you your money back. Whether it's been 6 months, 12 months, multiple years will go by before they even ever consider giving you your security deposit back. They will also pull all 3 of your credit reports from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax when you initially open the card, which will drop your credit score and not look good on your credit report. You want to limit the amount of hard inquiries because those are credit checks on your report. If you're gonna open up your first credit card, avoid the Capital One Platinum MasterCard at all costs. And if you already have this card, just assume you're never gonna see whatever money you gave Capital One ever again.
First and foremost, I want to tell you, I've had this credit card since I was about 26, 27 years old. It was one of my first credit cards out of the first 3 that I got. Everything that guy just said is completely wrong, except for a few things, because he really truly doesn't understand how to build a relationship with Capital One. And that's the #1 problem. I fell the actual victim to it because I didn't understand either. And the fact of the matter is, you want to have all of the big banks on your credit profile. If you can have 1 to 3 of those big banks on your credit profile, guess what? You have beat the game in the credit card system and you are winning. So making the statement that it's a scam is just literally for clicks and views, and that's all it's built for, because it's not a scam to be in the Capital One family, because you want to have at least 1 to 3 of the big banks on your credit profile, just like I said a second ago. So Capital One, American Express, Chase Bank, Discover Bank, and Citibank. Having at least 1 to 3 of those on your credit profile shows that you are a responsible borrower. And this is exactly what credit card companies and lenders want to see. So in today's episode, I want to give you full clarity on how to build a relationship properly with Capital One, because this isn't the first video that I've seen like this. There are other creators out there that are saying, oh, you know, Capital One is stingy. They don't want to raise your credit limit. If you don't build properly with Capital One, they're not going to raise your credit limits. It's just that simple, because with Capital One, they are heavy on building up that relationship, because they are in fact one of the largest subprime lenders in the United States. Making the statement that you shouldn't rebuild with Capital One is absolutely 100% false, because Capital One, like I said earlier, is one of the largest subprime lenders in the United States, and they work with people with subprime credit, people with lower credit scores. And Capital One, in fact, is a one-stop shop for everything. They offer an actual checking account, a savings account. They offer auto loans, student loans. They offer a wide variety of credit cards. So making the statement that you have to make a deposit that you're never going to get back, it depends on where your credit's at, because you can get a platinum card with no actual deposit down, and you can get another platinum card that is secure that you have to put a deposit down, because there are 2 different platinum credit cards. And being in the Capital One family can lead you to the better credit cards like the Saver One, the Quicksilver, and of course the Venture X credit card. But one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen people do with their Capital One Platinum card is they don't really use it that much, and then they get another actual credit card offer from Capital One and they take the offer. I'm going to tell you right now, do not take any credit card offers while you're rebuilding your credit with Capital One. You want to focus on that one credit card, whether it be the actual Platinum card or maybe you got a Quicksilver One card and that's your only Capital One card. Focus on the relationship with that credit card, using it as frequently as you possibly can. You can literally just do this simple tactic of putting your cell phone bill on your actual Capital One card and then paying it off, putting your actual car insurance, your utilities, whatever you're already scheduled to pay with your debit card, use your actual Capital One credit card and pay it with the credit card, and then pay the card off in full every single month. And that is the #1 rule with Capital One. You do not want to carry a balance with them while you're actually building a relationship with them. You want to pay off your credit card in full every single month with Capital One, and you want want to try to cycle the credit card as much as you can. Now, the word of cycling a credit card means if you have a $200, $400, or $500 credit limit, you want to use that $200, $400, or $500 credit limit as many times as you can. As an example, if I have a $500 credit limit, I'm going to use it at least 3 times in a month and pay it off in full and make sure that it does not report a balance. I'll pay my car insurance, I'll buy groceries, pay my cell phone bill, pay my electricity, my cable bill, all of these normal things that I'm already scheduled to do. I'm going to use my credit card instead and pay it off in full every month. But if I use that $500 3 times in a month successfully and don't carry balance and pay it off, then now I have used $1,500 for the month, and Capital One is going to be incentivized to raise that credit limit on their own without you even having to ask. And if you use this tactic and you actually had to do the secured platinum card and you put $200 or $500 down, then guess what? Within 8 months to a year, Capital One will issue you a credit and give you the money back as a statement credit. They don't hold that money forever and you never see it. I know that for a fact because I did not use my credit card properly, and they truly didn't give me my actual deposit back because I did put a deposit because I had no credit when I was 26, 27 years old. But once I started to use the card, I used it consecutively, exactly as I just stated, for 6 months. And when I hit the 7th month is when they actually send me a letter stating they were going to give me a statement credit of $250. And ta-da, guess what? It actually worked. The key with Capital One is to use the credit card as much as you possibly can responsibly without putting yourself in debt and paying it off in full. And then you want to go inside of the Capital One app and ask for a credit limit increase. And throughout this entire process, Capital One is going to entice you by trying to offer you another credit card. And they're going to send it either in the mail or they're going to send it to you an email. Do not take the offer because you're only going to be able to have 4 Capital One credit cards with the Capital One family. And this started around 2022 and 2023 when they changed the actual credit card requirements. Now, there's some people that may have 4 or even 5 credit cards already, but this didn't start until recently, and I cannot have more than 4 credit cards, and that's exactly what Capital One has told me directly. So what we truly want to focus on is raising the credit limit on that Capital One Platinum card, using it, paying it off, and doing this consistently for 6 to 8 months. And if Capital One does not give you a credit limit increase, then you go inside the app and you can actually request a credit limit increase, and there's absolutely no hard inquiry when you do it inside of the app. Do not call Capital One, because if you do it with an actual Capital One representative, there will be a hard inquiry, and we don't want that and you don't need it, because you could do it directly inside of the app for 100% free with no hard inquiry. And now once you've had your actual platinum card and you've raised the limit after a certain amount of time, usually about a year to maybe a year and a half, then you want to see if you can actually upgrade that card, because you don't want to keep this credit card. You want to upgrade it to a different credit card. Now, there's actually nowhere that you can go to get an actual Capital One upgrade. There's no link, and do not call Capital One because you will get a hard inquiry if they try to upgrade your card. Now, what does an upgrade do? It's going to do one very important thing. It's going to get you out of this credit card and move you into a different credit card. Now, the offer for everyone is going to be different. They may offer me a Quicksilver. They may offer you a Quicksilver 1. They may offer you a Saver 1. Everyone is going to be different based on your relationship and your spend and the rest of your credit profile. I'm going to drop a safe and secure Capital One link that I've been holding and guarding with my life for the last 8 years. Now, it's going to be pinned at the top of the comments, and it's going to be in the description of the video. All you have to do is log into your Capital One account. Once you log in, you'll pick the card that you want to upgrade. Some of you may have multiple credit cards, but you pick the card that you want to upgrade, and it's going to tell you whether or not you're eligible for an upgrade and what card you can actually upgrade. And what this will do, it will switch the product out. So you'll go, let's say as an example, you'll go from your platinum card to your actual Quicksilver card, and it does not close the account. You keep the same account number and it stays on your credit report in good standing as the same account. And that's what we want, because once you actually take another credit card offer, it's going to open another actual credit card, and that's going to lower your age of credit. We want to keep our age of credit because this is the secret to getting a high credit score, letting your credit age. And this is why it's super important to upgrade the card, because we keep the same account number and it stays on the credit report the same, and we continue to build build on that age of that actual first credit card that helped us rebuild with. Now, do you see the full importance now that I just explained why it's super important, why Capital One is a very valuable actual credit card company to have on your credit report? Because you can actually upgrade those credit cards. You can get out of a crappy credit card that doesn't have the best benefits and then move into a better credit card. Let me show you a couple of the credit cards they may offer you. So if we go to the actual Capital One website, you can see that there's a Platinum MasterCard and a Platinum Secured, and then there's actually a Quicksilver One and a Quicksilver Secured. So there's different versions of secured credit cards, unlike that Amateur that we saw earlier where he was like, you know, you have to put a deposit and that's your only limit. It depends on where your credit's at. Not everyone has to put down a deposit. Your credit could be in a different position than someone that has no credit. But even if you have no credit, it's not a bad thing to get one of these credit cards because it can lead to these next credit cards. The Quicksilver card. There are literally 4 Quicksilver cards that you can actually potentially get, and it depends on where your credit's at because they designed this to be for subprime credit, and you can work your way up to the best ones that they offer. So like I said, right here, you can see there are 4 different Quicksilver cards. You have a Quicksilver One, and then you have 3 Quicksilver cards, and one of the Quicksilver cards is also secured. So that's why like the theory of being with Capital One is a bad deal is really horrible. And you can see right here, this is why they have so many choices, because it depends on where your credit's at. What will they offer you? I don't know. It depends on your profile and your relationship. So that's why it's important to build that relationship and make it stronger. But these are all the Quicksilvers. Now let's go to the other ones. Next up, we have the Saver One credit card. Now the Saver One credit card is one of the hands down the most underrated credit cards of all time, because one of these will actually can get you up to 10% cash back if you get the actual Uber app and you order groceries or any type of food through it. So you basically can buy your groceries and have them delivered to your home using the Uber app, and it'll actually cover your Uber fees. And then guess what? You get 10% back on your groceries. So the Saver One is one of the best dining credit cards, and it has that hidden perk that a lot of people do not understand. So make sure that you understand all of these and you understand which one you're going to upgrade. So if you decide to upgrade to a Saver or Saver One card, you understand which one you're going to get. And the same thing with the Quicksilver card. If you decide to actually upgrade to a Quicksilver card, pay attention to which one you're going to get so you know what you're getting yourself into and you don't get the wrong card. And the last and final one is the Venture card. So there are 4 different Venture cards, just like all of the rest. Just about all of the Capital One credit cards have 4 different tiered credit cards based on your credit. So you have the Venture One Rewards for good credit, then you have the Venture One Rewards, and then the Venture Rewards, and then of course the big kahuna, the big credit card that everyone wants to get to, the Venture X Reward. And each one of them, as you can see, is for a different type of credit profile, and they all have different bonus offers, and they're all completely structured different. Not one of them is exactly the same. So if you actually get the offer to upgrade to a Venture, make sure that you pay attention to which one you're going to get. Hope you enjoyed this video. We covered a lot about the Capital One Platinum card and how to rebuild your credit with Capital One and how to use your credit card properly. Make sure that you watch the next video because it is about another massive credit union that you need to learn about. If you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.